All right, thanks for joining us, episode 2. I'm here with Andrew Baim. Thanks for joining me.
My pleasure.
He's owner of Elevated SEO, search engine optimization, where they offer digital solutions to different businesses in the area. Andrew, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business?
Oh man, well, what's not to tell? Thanks for having me. I think the majority of what we do here is help small businesses. So I'm actually mostly branding the company right now as Elevated Business Solutions. New shirts coming out soon. They're going to be based off the Tower Records, rest in peace Tower Records. They'll just say Elevated Business, and then we'll kind of have the logos on the back. That's just one of the things that we do. So our business is here to support businesses and provide them value.
Sounds great. And how long have you been in operation?
Almost 8 years.
8 years,
yeah.
Okay.
In operation, doors open, paying rent.
Yeah. Over the course of the 8 years, how have you seen yourself grow as a business owner? From the start to now. 8 years is a long time for a business to be operating. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the industry's grown a lot, and I've grown a lot with it. There's obviously a lot more competition now. But when I got into this industry, we set out to figure out how to help business owners with the new landscape, which was no longer the phone book, was no longer newspapers. So we had to figure out, well, what do business owners need? How are they going to do lead generation once again in this new landscape called the internet with Google, Facebook, and these other places? That kind of lets me think. So you have these billion-dollar businesses, right? Like Google, like Facebook, like Amazon.
Yeah.
We figured out a way to make money off of all of them. And that's kind of like the beauty of why our industry didn't exist 10 years ago. Yeah, no, we didn't create the next Facebook or the next Instagram, but we've helped others to navigate that landscape. And in the meantime, harnessing our own skills.
Sure. Is this the first business that you've owned, or did you have anything prior?
Previous to this, back in 01 to 05, I had a company called the Hip Stop Record Shop in Arcata, California.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's two very different industries. Did you have to change the way you ran the business as you switched industries to kind of meet the demand, I guess? And how did you prepare yourself for that?
Well, I think the biggest difference now between what we sell and what I sold then is helping. Back then it was more of like an industry, the music industry, right? Yeah. Before iTunes came in and basically crushed that local retail industry, and then Amazon crushed local retail. So it's kind of a perfect storm. Where Jimmy Iovine and these other guys figured out how to move it forward, and it actually lend itself to being a marketing company, because promoting a retail store, promoting concerts, promoting bands and albums and things like that. Although retail and not business to business, you still had to really know how to figure out how to do marketing.
Sure.
So. But I want to be clear. I used to when Mark had Ink and Toner and I had Hip Stop Record Shop. Now we have Ink and Toner again. We used to always laugh because I thought I needed to sell something that I cared about, something that was really cool and culturally relevant and things like that. Whereas now selling Ink and Toner again, it's a business and it helps businesses, but it's not that sexy. It's not culturally relevant.
Sure.
And so it's kind of funny that back in June of this year, we came back to selling Ink and Toner again.
Okay.
As well.
Awesome. What are some hardships that you have faced throughout owning the businesses that you feel like you wish you had prepared a bit more beforehand, that maybe that you didn't think about at the time?
Yeah, I think that a lot of businesses go out of business because they're not willing to do that hard work. Like, I have a great idea. I have my doors open. Like, clients are just going to flood in. I mean, if you look out here, we have this, beautiful retail storefront, and nobody's just coming to visit for no reason. And I think that goes for restaurants, bars, other places. Yeah, they have more walk-by traffic, but I don't want to rely on walk-by traffic. So you have to figure out how to get off the bar stool, get up out your seat, and go attract people to you.
And so how would you say you've been doing that to kind of attract people to come to you?
Well, just cultivating relationships, providing a good product, doing all of our marketing efforts, e-commerce, SEO, social media, all those things. We haven't sent out a direct mail piece, but we sent out direct emails. Spreading the word. We had the Mayweather-McGregor open house here.
Yeah, how did that go?
Oh, it was great fun. Yeah.
I know we spoke briefly about, I guess, having the right talent push your company forward. Yeah. How would you say that you try to approach that concept to find the right people?
Yeah, I mean, I think, real insight to something that we've kind of figured out, now that I basically am running 3 companies here, primarily, is, creating earners, creating people. Kudos and hats off to any company that has enough revenue to be able to have employees that, that can help them. I would say we have a team of about 5 freelancers that I work with every single day, and then just a few people here in and out on a regular basis, helping with sales and customer acquisitions and stuff like that.
Okay, and then where do you see the company going moving forward, I guess? Like in 5 years, where do you hope to be? What's the mission, the end goal?
Yeah, well, I think we plan to be in business for 30 years plus.
Sure, yeah. I'm going short, long.
Let's figure out how to get $1 million in revenue first, and then look long term. One thing we're kind of doing is looking a little bit more towards the subscription models, just because then your business is worth slightly more. Similar to if you own a retail space, strip mall, and you have all of your bays leased out, then you're selling, your purchase price is much higher because your bays are leased out. You have somebody on paper that's paying that. So it's similar when people go to sell their businesses. If you have subscription models, you're selling your clientele and the tools and the system, not just a business and a revenue times three.
Sure,
So gives you a lot more strength. If you haven't seen The Founders, about the guy who basically cavaliered McDonald's from the 2 founders.
Yeah, great movie. It's on Netflix if you want to check it out.
Andrew Bain Netflix special coming soon. No, I'm just like, they created a system. McDonald's created a system. So right now, especially with our softwares that we're building, we're trying to create systems.
Okay.
Yeah. So just let you know what Elevated Business Solutions is elevated SEO and web design. So that's online marketing, content marketing, and branding. And we have our print uniforms and apparel. So we do silk screening and uniforms, and then we do ink and toner for all your business needs. So ink, print, web, and hosting.
What kind of advice would you give to individuals that are aspiring to open their own company, just to kind of give them, the right foot in the door?
Yeah.
Give them, a little nudge in the right direction.
If you're looking to start your own business, I would there's the SBA. You could always go down to UNO and talk to them. Do a real business plan, Don't go out and spend a ton of money. Figure out how to make money first, generate a revenue stream, and then try to duplicate that. I think that's one of the most important things. It's like, if you can figure out how to get somebody to pay you for something, then do that over and over again. Rinse and repeat that. I think one of the best holy grails of today's business landscape is SaaS software, and run by 360.com. And you want to create a model that you've built something that you can sell over and over.
Sure.
I think I've listened to podcasts quite a bit, and I listen to like Gary Vee, and one of the things that he talks about a lot is trading time for money, and thinking short term or long term. So I've had a lot of time to think about it, not a lot of time to talk about it. So, my thoughts aren't totally complete. But I would say, be practical. Be super practical,
Sure. And then you mentioned that, like, you had always had this idea that you have to go into business for something you're passionate about, which is something that you realized you don't necessarily need to. So I guess, how would you advise someone to find that business, that they would be successful in owning? If it's not something that they might be passionate about, where do they look?
Well, I think you got to be passionate about it, because you got to wake up every day, self-motivated. I wasn't always the most structured person, but being able to keep 3 businesses open all at the same time takes a lot of discipline, takes a lot of passion, a lot of love, a lot of grit, a lot of long hours. I think it's those culturally relevant topics can be hit or miss. Music, art, fashion, things like that are harder to make money in, because you're selling your creativity. But I think we always have to remember that business is creative, and the passion and drive you have to have for what you want to do has to be there, because otherwise, one shortcoming, one shortfall, you're going to stop, you're going to quit, and you don't want to. You have to overcome and persevere over and over and over. And it gets more fun, it gets more rewarding, but it doesn't get easier. Okay. It's not like, this business elevated what it is today than it was December 2010. It's a totally different business, but I still do a lot of the same things that I did on day one. Mm-hmm. Really, I really do. And we've tried and failed and tried and succeeded at so many different things, but the core competencies have always been there.
Definitely.
So find your core competencies, and then go out there and try again, and don't be afraid to fail.
Awesome. And then I guess I'll end with a simple question. Why should businesses in the Omaha area go with you for their search engine optimization, web design business needs?
Just come talk to us, because I've looked and studied hundreds of different business models, and can touch on and be educated and intelligent enough to help people in just about any industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure, Henry.
Andrew,
what a boss.
Yeah, Andrew's located in Regency. If you ever want to come check it out, you can also check out his website,
elevatedseo.com and elevated.inc. First toner free. And you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/local touch now, YouTube, Elevated SEO, Twitter, Elevated SEO, Instagram, Elevated SEO.
All right, well, thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you, my pleasure.
Next week on Small Business Sit Down, I sit down with Mika Solomon of Invictus Fitness and OmahaDepot.com. He takes us through the importance of community action and tells us how he strives to make a difference. Be sure to give this video a like and comment with any questions that you have for Andrew at Elevated Business Solutions below.